The key to any successful life is a really good girl behind you. For me, knocking down shit is like the best. Again, like we have here, eclectic cars. You know, oh, you've got a Clio? No, I got all the Clio.
Yeah.
I had 180 bikes at the time, ridiculous number. So like one of the biggest collections of super bikes in the world. I shipped the motor over in a box, and I carried the frame on as carry-on luggage.
Shut up.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? So today is a little bit different format of video. We decided that we'd start kind of a little podcast for Motus here and do it here and there. Have special guests just like Pete here, but either way, we're just gonna get right into it. So for those that are watching and don't know who we are, my name is Boccarossa. I am one of the filmmakers and one of the founders of Motus here, and you can introduce yourself too, my friend.
My name is Zach Harnish. I'm a photographer and another founder of Motus.
Yeah. So today we are blessed to be joined by the awesome, infamous Pete Boccarossa. So Pete, how you doing, man?
Good, man. Everything's great. Beautiful day. Springtime's breaking in. We're finally going to get some warm weather, right? And yeah, we'll get to get out there and rip it up with the toys, man.
Yeah. And we got a lot of toys behind us right
here.
here.
We got four-wheel toys. You know, my house is full of all the fun things, man. We got the four-wheelers. We got two-wheelers, of course. We got, you know, dirt bikes and street bikes. We got quads. We got four-wheel, you know, UTVs. And summertime for me, I'm a huge jet ski guy. And just so you guys know, jet skis are things that you stand up on. You don't sit on them, okay? The sit-down things, that's something completely different. That's not a jet ski, okay? I don't care what you guys say.
That's when you got the vajayjay, right?
That's right. You got a vajayjay, you're sitting down. You know what I mean?
Let's start with the obvious. How many cars you got in your collection?
I think in the total collection, there's somewhere around 70. You know, I think there's like 45 or 50 up here, but there's cars all over the friggin' place.
Too, right?
I still got them. My house, a couple of my buildings, a couple of my friends' house. You know, same thing like I had with bikes. At one point, I had 180 motorcycles, so they were everywhere, man. My buddies had some at their house. I had some in California. I had some in Florida. I have a house in California. Had an airplane hangar full of them. Dirt bikes, quads, a couple Jeeps. So when you fly out there, you get to go rip up the Pacific Coast Highway. You get to go to Glamis, you get to go to Pismo. You know, you put a paddle tire on a CR 500 and rip wheelies across those sand dunes, which is sick. Yeah. You know, I have a GSXR 1000 that's out there. I hop on that and head right up the Pacific Coast Highway, all the way up into Washington State and back down. Sickest ride ever. And if you leave early in the morning, it's your own Isle of Man. I mean, there's no cars. You focus on the corner and try not to die. I mean, you know, because you go off the edge over there on some of those cliffs, you're friggin' done, man. Yeah. They ain't finding you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, all good, man. Springtime is here. I'm just waiting for it to get above 50 degrees. So some of these 888, you know, Yokohamas, 0008s, they start to stick. And that's what's on pretty much all of the cars. I mean, we have like a semi-street, semi-race tire on just about everything out there. They don't stick real good when it's under 40 degrees. But we'll be sitting some hot laps right here at Bocca Motors in the track, and we'll set up the go-kart track soon, and we'll have some night racing. Bocca Motors is going to have some crazy stuff this summer. We got 8-9 movies that we're showing on our 50 by 80 movie screen that blows up in the back. You know, we get 500-600 cars here for a movie, which is awesome. This summer we got a whole bunch of cool ones planned. We're going to be doing Cannonball Run, Smokey and the Bandit, you know, Talladega Nights.
Clio film.
What's that?
The Clio film.
The Clio film. Yeah, we'll do the Clio film when it comes out. Yeah. You know, just all sorts of really cool motorcycle and car related films. You know, I mean, that's just where it's at, man. If you're going to have some fun, it has to have a motor. You know. And don't tell me it has to be an electric motor, because I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. That's no fun.
I am a big proponent of burning dinosaur blood right till we're dead. All right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Back to that 190 motorcycle point. So back in the day, you were a professional racer.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, so you know, I raced AMA Superbike and had a great time doing it. You know, I was lucky enough to survive. I mean, it was back in the day before they had any of the nannies like traction control and slip angle control and wheelie control. I mean, you can hop on one of these new BMW S1000Rs now and be a superhero in 3 laps. But the bikes I had were, you know, GSXR 1100, you know what I mean, CBR 900RRs. I mean, these bikes had no rider aids. Your rider aid was right here, man. It was in your hand. You know what I mean? If you knew how to throttle it right and position your body properly, you'd go into a corner smoking the front tire and come out with the rear tire smoking. And that was the winning ride. And you knew where the limit was, and it was actually when you hit the ground. That was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a bit different now. There's a lot of electronic controls that allow you to just really, you know, go at a really rapid pace, almost really quick, you know?
How long did you race for? It was 20
It's like
something,
15, 20 years, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, on and off. I did some endurance racing, did some superbike racing, did some super twins racing, had a great time, all sorts of fun.
How old
You
were
know?
you when you started?
I started when I was like, what, 18, you know, and then ran till about 32, 33. Had some kids, stopped for a while, and then when as soon as my first baby was born, I went back to endurance racing.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, my wife really loved that.
The wives always love stuff
So
like
you
that,
got a brand
right?
new baby, you're gonna race? I'm like, hell yeah.
It was in you. You had to get it out, right?
I'm lucky, dude. Let me tell you, the key to any successful life is having is a really good girl behind you, someone who supports you all the time. Ups and downs, you know, my life has been, you know, I've been lucky, man. It's up and down in my whole life. You know, my successes in businesses were also, had some tarnishes in the past with some failures. But I learned from those failures, and they just made me stronger every time. And the key is just to be on the gas all the time. Dude, you go half throttle in anything, you're fucked. You ain't gonna win. You know what I mean? You go into a race, you're thinking, oh, I'll just run half throttle the whole way. No, you're the last guy. Dude, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be second place. That's first loser. You know what I mean? I want to be number one as we go through life with everything. So you find the best gig you got and try and make the most of it. Every deal that you have, you shake your hand like an old school deal. And if it's going south, you still live up to the deal. You know, you follow through. If you get fucked on the deal, that's it. It's your fault. You know what I mean? But live through it. And then on the good deals, you make out really well.
Right.
Surround yourself with really good people. People that you know that have the same vision that you do. You know, and treat everybody really good too. You got to, because the better you treat people, you want to treat them the way you want to be treated, okay? Don't go out of your way to screw anybody. There's no need, because there's so much in the pie. I mean, in my life, in all my business ventures, I always looked at it as a big pie. And if I'm working with you dudes right here, and if I take a little tiny slice of yours, but I have 10 other business ventures going, guess what I got? I got the whole fucking pie, right? But I kept you dudes happy. You guys are making in happiness, and there's, you know, you're being successful. I've made a lot of people successful in my life, and they conversely have made me successful. You know, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the things that have happened. I thank every day the people that have surrounded me. And, you know, there's one or two people that I hope they get hit by a dump truck today. You know what I mean?
Happens, right?
It is what it is,
It
man.
is what it is.
But
yeah.
you got to suss those people out in life.
Sure.
Right? I mean, it's tough to figure out who the hell they are. You know who's really great at that? It's women are generally really great, you know, judge of characters. Guys are like, oh man, Owen's a bitchin' guy. I mean, we have a great time together. We went dirt bike riding once, yeah. And the next day you loaned him some money, and then you never hear from Owen again, right?
Peace.
Yeah, but you know, you ask your wife or your girlfriend, be like, what do you think of that dude? They got a pretty good insight. I don't know what it is.
Woman intuition.
It
It's
is,
something,
man.
right?
There's
It's
no
something.
doubt. Guys ain't got that shit. I'm telling you.
That's
You know,
true.
all we have is balls and throttle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really. And then women take a look at things, and they can almost feel someone out almost immediately. You know, unless they're a psycho woman, that's a whole nother program. That's a whole nother category right
Yeah,
there.
right? I like your point of you got to stay on the gas. I like that point a lot. You know, that's the only way to
dude.
win, right?
Every
First,
day.
you last.
No, man. Yeah, if you ain't first, you're last. Well, think about it, man. You know, you going out for competition. I look at everything as a competition.
Right.
Every single thing I do. It doesn't matter if I'm restoring a house or building, you know, housing projects for kids with autism and Down syndrome, or you know, building this Bocca Motors company. You know, I have a ton of rental properties, 60, 70 rental properties. You know, every one I have there wasn't enough. Just go one more. One more might be the number. Oh, one more might be the number, right? You just keep going. You know what I mean? You don't let up. I mean, I guess there's a point where you have enough, right? And you say, oh, I don't really need to make any more money. But mine hasn't really been about making money. Mine is about getting the job done, and the satisfaction is, wow, I got that job done. I'm on to my next job. I'm all about the next big thing, the next big adventure. You know what I mean? And if we could just jump in each time, and like this new venture for us is a year old now, Bocca Motors. Killing it. You know what I mean? But I came in here gangbusters, man. We blew this building out in 6 months. This would have taken a couple years for people to set up an operation like this. I had the whole place up and running with licenses and an inventory in 6 months. You know what I mean?
I saw the photos of this before you even did anything to it.
Told you, man.
Total transformation.
Yeah, it was a shithole.
It was. It
Yeah,
really was.
I took 46 dumpsters out of the back. They were running a chop shop in the back over here. Cars were coming in, they were cutting them up. The cops were here all the time.
Really?
There was about 20 dumpsters of old tires and garbage that we took out of the land trust in the back. So the town's real happy with me. I mean, we cleaned up all their shit.
Right.
And we turned the place into a haven. You know, now it's just, dude, this is the best place. I live 4 or 5 miles from here. You know what I mean? How can you not be so happy to be able to get up and say, where am I going? I'm going to my toy box. You know what I mean? And I'm going to play with all my shit that I always loved doing. You know? So, and I'm learning a lot every day. I take apart, like, I don't know how to take apart a Ferrari Challenge, but I can tell you one thing. I took that one apart downstairs. I went online just like everybody else does, go on YouTube and figure out how to hang a shade or hang a door or, you know, paint the room. I did the same thing, except nobody was doing a Ferrari Challenge front radiator.
Right.
So, unfortunately, I now have that all on YouTube, so if you need one, you're all set.
There we go.
But, you know, the resources that are available now today are amazing, right? So, you know, if you go back, I'm 60 years old, so you go back 40 years, you couldn't find any of this shit. No. You'd have to call 70 different people, and, you know, you have to call Italy and you talk to a guy in Italian and figure out what the hell you're doing. You know, the best case scenario is attack it hard, figure it out, and when it breaks, you usually got to buy the parts or whatever. I've broken a lot of parts fixing shit, I can tell you that much. You know, right. Normal, like, little, tiny, easy fixes turn into monster nightmares. You know what I mean? Yep. But you do what you do. You know, and this, you should never ever be scared to tackle anything. Doesn't matter what it is. You don't have to be the best at it, you know, but look, if somebody's got an excavator at your house and you've never driven an excavator, hop in that fucker and dig some holes. Yeah. What's the worst case is? You dig too deep and hit a pipeline or something? Yeah, you probably want to stay away from that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that would suck a little bit, but hey.
It would suck.
You got to learn, right?
No, but anything, like, I never knew how to run any machines or anything. And when we started building housing for the disabled, I just bought all my own machines. Yeah. I was like, you know, I looked at the numbers that they were giving me for excavation. I'm going, that ain't happening. I'm not paying that. I went out and bought, you know, $750,000 machine, dig all the digging, learned how to do all the site plans and stuff myself. You know, and you know, hooked up with a really great younger partner who was as hungry as I am. And you know, I did all the digging, and he did everything from the foundation up. And we come up with a beautiful product and able to take care of families with disabled children that never had a place to go to. And we've made the premier place in the country. You know, so really cool, dude. It's like, you know, I had one guy in this one particular house, and his mom and dad, about 80 years old, and his name's Jim, and he's got Down syndrome. And it could be rain and fire, and this dude's got a smile on his face. You know what I mean? He's about 5'6", and he weighs about 220. But he grabs you, and he's so strong. It's amazing. Pick me up, swing you around in circles. And his mom and dad were so happy when we built these things for him because they had been with this kid his whole life. He was now 50-plus years old, never been on vacation. And now they knew he had a place to go where he's going to be comfortable and safe when they go on. They went on their first vacation when they were 75 years old.
Wow.
Yeah,
holy
pretty wild,
shit.
Right? Yeah, so that's some of the rewarding stuff you get. You know, you do these projects and then you find there's other rewarding pieces, you know? I mean, even doing stuff here for Bocca Motors. I mean, I love doing the stuff like, you know, a guy comes in and his car was, there's one particular one, this guy's Porsche was messed up, and he had gone to a local dealer and they gave him an outrageous bill. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm going, that is not that bad. It's like a $20,000 bill they gave him. We went back and beat it up a little bit, and we sent him out the door at $28,000 or $3,000. We saved him like $15,000. I didn't have to come out of the thing killing him or crushing him. I had given him an original estimate of 10 grand. It was a lot cheaper. He was happy with the 10. I gave him, you know, $3,000. We made $1,000, whatever. It was like a couple hours. I mean, and then realized how bad the Porsche dealer was just shoving it up his ass. You know what I mean? So,
win-win.
Yeah, man. Yeah, right. But can you imagine that, you know, just a little bit of extra effort on people's parts can not only, number one, save them money, can teach them a good lesson, you know what I mean? And again, now they're more proficient in that particular area. So anytime, like, you don't know something, it's pretty easy, man. Attack it. You know, don't be daunted. Oh, I'm so scared. I've never, ever painted a room before. Paint the fucking room. Right. Worst case scenario, it comes out like shit. Paint it again, right? I don't know how to put a toilet in. Figure it out, dude. You know, take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in. When it stops leaking, you did a good job, right? Yeah. If there's shit all over your floor, you're kind of fucked up.
I like to say experience is the best teacher, you know, so doing shit, I mean, it's going to teach you everything.
Have to, you know. Like some of my favorite stuff is like when we build a housing for the disabled, we get to knock down the buildings. Oh, and for me, knocking down shit is like the best. I mean, that's like, can you imagine they give me, you know, I'll go in there with a massive, you know, 60-ton excavator, you know what I mean? And knock down, you know, 2- and 3-, 4-story houses. And I just drive right through the thing with a 490 Komatsu or a D8 with a cage on it. Yeah. I had one, there was one job we got to do where I took the D8, it's got a full cage all around. I drove it right through the building and out the other side. And as I come out the other side, the whole thing collapsed in on itself. It was the coolest thing ever. And I've had my friends come, I'm like, dude, I'm knocking a building down today. guy. They'd never been in the machine before. I would go, listen, you can't do anything wrong. What's the worst case? You're going to hit the building and you're going to knock it down?
Right.
I go, just come over here, knock it down. Do some digging, squeeze it up with the thumb. It's the coolest thing ever,
That sounds like fun.
It's so much fun.
That sounds like fun.
Well, I put Zach in that excavator. Yeah, he was having fun.
In the Doosan?
Yeah,
In the Doosan?
in the Doosan. Yeah, he was sitting out back on the 235 digging some
yeah.
holes.
Playing around.
You know,
Did you have fun?
kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
It's different, right?
Dude, who doesn't have fun digging holes? Like when I was a kid, man, they gave me a spoon. Like I think I was like 6 years old. They gave me a spoon. I was underneath the porch. I undermined the whole goddamn deck. I dug the whole deck, all the footings out, and the whole deck had fallen down our parents' house. So I dug all the holes around with a spoon.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my
pretty
God.
funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, anyways, I want to pivot a little bit to like your collection a little bit more.
Sure.
What got you into collecting cars?
Basically, a life-changing accident.
Yeah.
I was a motorcycle guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved motorcycles back 10 years ago. I always had a car. I had that 930 turbo, the roof BTR I got downstairs. Had that for 38 years now, so that was pretty cool. I've always been a car nut, 240Zs. But, bikes, it's just a whole nother world, man.
Sure.
I mean, listen, back in, 40 years ago, a car was fast, but a bike was really fast. Even 40-year-old bikes were really fast. You go back to like 1984, 82, 83, around there. I mean, I had a Katana 1100. That thing was a rocket ship. I mean, there was no car that would touch it. So the sensation of speed is so much more elevated in a bike than it is in a car. So I stuck with bikes for a long time. And then I had a really terrible accident, 10 years ago on Father's Day, and I came out of it. Took me about 8-10 months to come out of the deal. And I went to my garages and I started looking. I had 180 bikes at the time, ridiculous number. So like one of the biggest collections of super bikes in the world. MotoGP bikes, world super bikes, AMA super bikes, supermoto bikes, a lot of motocrossers, all the 500cc two-strokes. Had every single cylinder 500cc two-stroke in my collection. And I said, fuck it, it's time to go. And I took 60, 70 bikes to Mecum auction right out in California and blew out 70 bikes in one day. Wow. Took another 25 and gave them to the Barber Museum down in Alabama, and they have them on display. Another 50 went up to Rockville, Connecticut, to the Connecticut Motorcycle Museum. Ken Kaplan, awesome family. If you guys get a chance ever, go on the web.
I've known about Ken for a while.
The guy's awesome. Him and
Yeah.
his son, Kenny Jr.,
Yeah.
those guys are the bomb. Nicest people ever. True blue motorcycle enthusiasts. Kenny Sr., my age, 60 years old, went a whole year, rode every single day on the motocross track. Wow. He went 365 days through the winter, 2 feet of snow. That dude would get on a CRF 450 or his YZF 450 and rock his motor track. Even if he did 2-3 laps and it was 0 or -5 degrees, guy would go out and make sure he did 2 or 3 or 4 laps because he was on 365 moto. And it's something special, man, to see somebody be so committed to do something like that, Wow. Great time. You guys got to check it. It's Kaplan Motors out of Oxford or Rockville, Connecticut.
Rockville,
yeah. So, pivoting back to the cars, I mean, the bikes, they just didn't do it for me anymore. And I was looking at stuff that was in the back corner of my garage, and, they're carbureted, okay? Most bikes are carbureted, at least back, 30-year-old bikes and less are carbureted. Newer ones, last 20 years are all fuel injected. But I'd have a beautiful bike in the corner and go to start it, and it wouldn't start because carburetor's all gunged up. I got to spend a day working on the goddamn thing just to ride it. You know what I mean? I got sick of that. I got rid of all those. Started getting a couple cars, and I bought a couple Porsches, a couple Ferraris. And the Ferraris are beautiful. I had a 458 or a 430 Spider, 6-speed manual car. I had a couple Lamborghini manuals. Ended up with this 458 Speciale that I got. Had a 458 Aperta, some really, really cool Ferraris. Love those. And the Ferraris really pulled me into the car world because they're so good. You know what I mean? Pain in the ass to work on, but good. Like the 355 back here, that black 355.
That's a good car.
Best sounding car ever, man.
Car.
That's fucking music, dude. You get in that thing at 8,500 RPM at like 11:30 at night when there's just a big old full moon, and you're ripping down the highway at it's nothing like it. Nothing sounds like it. That particular car's got a Capristo exhaust, and it's music, man. So I'm kind of like pulled in by the sound of the motors, the way each car is so much different. Bikes are so much different too, but each car really has a different soul. You get in the RWB, it's completely different than driving that 928 Porsche.
Right.
I mean, they're like, it's almost like they're from 2 different alien planets.
Right.
Still 4 wheels, 4-wheel disc brakes, 5-speed manual transmission, but neither one is like they don't even know they're in the same plane. You know, one car is completely different in aspects of what it does. The other one's a great tourer. The other one is an absolute mind blower, you know, flamboyant car to look at when you pull up. You know, heads spin around on circles, man, like an owl when that car's coming into a parking lot. You know, and each car is different. Each car has a soul for me. I love the V8s, like the Audi S4. It's got an awesome motor. It's got an RS4. It's got an R8 motor in it. But then you jump into a Lamborghini V10, and it's nasty, right? You start the Aventador with its 12-cylinder. Ridiculous, right? Yeah. You know, especially that. It's got a Larini exhaust, man. You can hear that from, you know, 5 miles away when you start it, you know? So cars have soul for me. And I'm starting to really get into the racing car side of it. Been taking the cars to the track, and now I got some more dedicated race cars. I got this new 488 Challenge. Got a couple Super Trofeo Lambos. And we're going to rip them up on the track all year. Got a couple Porsche race cars, got all those Clios, you know what I mean? And,
I love those things.
Yeah, that McGann trophy right over there is just so nasty. I mean, that's going to be a great race car this summer. So everything goes to the track this summer. We're going to try and go to like VIR, which is within, you know, 10 hours of us here. We'll go to VIR, we'll go to Pit Race, we'll go up to New Hampshire, we'll go up to, probably go to Carolina Motorsports Park, go to my buddy Alan Wilzig's track, a WRM race park. You got to check this thing out. This is crazy. He's got this crazy ass track right in his yard. It's a mile and a half or something like
crazy.
That. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so I'll take you boys up there. It's gonna be
absolutely.
Fun. It'll be fun. Yeah.
What I got to say about your collection is I love how unique each car is. Like each one is its own, you know, just its own story, its own characteristics.
You like rarity, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's just been a lot of it's been the chase too.
Sure.
You know, listen. You remember when, you know, you guys are young, you're still chasing girls. I mean, when I was looking for my fantastic wife, man, I had to chase a lot of girls down, right? Well, it's been the chase, dude. You know what I mean? It's all about the chase. You find it, you kind of finagle your deal, whatever you want to do, and try and bring it home, put it in your garage. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you guys trying to put it in your bed. You know?
I love the analogy. That's great.
It's funny, but it's true, dude. It's the chase. You know what I mean? It's the crush. You know what I mean? We're lions. We go out there and we eat meat. You know what I mean? And this is my meat right now. I mean, this is all these cars are my meat. This is what I'm looking for. And I find the right stuff and I want to eat and I'll figure out a way to get it. And I'm a real good deal maker. So a lot of times I'll find something that I really, really want. And, you know, I'll try and find 3 or 4 of the same model, but it's hard to find. So you know where you're going to be, you know what you want to spend on it, right? But you don't want to spend that much. You know what your biggest number is. So start at your lowest number. You know what I mean? And work your way up. You can always go up on a deal. You can't go backwards. You know what I mean? You can't go back down. You know what I mean? You can start low and the owner can say, "You're an asshole. Get the fuck out of here." And you let them sit for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, especially if it's a specialty car that nobody's buying anyway. But you know it's got value. Like, perfect example, like that Maserati Shamal. Who the hell knows what that thing is? I know what the value of it is. There's not many of them. They made 262 of them in the world. There's like 4 here in the country. Okay? So, yeah, there's rarity there, and there's definitely value. So there's someone else just like me that wants that car. Maybe doesn't know about it, but because it didn't get to him at the time it was put up for sale. Or possibly I heard about it and the vehicle was never put for sale. You know what I mean? And that's how a lot of the vehicles come to me. They come to me before they even hit the market. So people know I buy, and someone will say, "Yeah, you got to call this guy, man. His uncle's got this thing in his garage." Like, perfect example right now, I got a friend of mine whose uncle has got a Countach that's burnt up in the garage, had a starter motor, had a motor around the starter motor, burnt up all the wiring harness. He's got a Diablo with a bad transmission, and he's got a Jalpa, which is the older one, just right around the same Countach time. He's got a Jalpa that has been sitting for 20 years, and they're in the garage. They're not moving. I'm the only dude that knows about these cars, and I've already made the offers. And I said, "Dude, when the time comes, they got to come to my house. I'm going to fix them." And I said, "Look, I'll fix them. I'll get them running perfect. I'll plate them, and you go take them and drive them. You know what I mean? Just let me buy them, man. Let me throw you some cash. You know what I mean? And I think I'm going to hook up on that Countach pretty soon.
Yeah,
I'm pretty soon. And it's an anniversary. It's a red anniversary with black interior. But it's got a smoked wiring harness. Yeah. So not many people are willing to tackle a smoked wiring harness on a Countach. But it didn't affect the paint. It's just electronics. But you have to be able to desire to do it. The way I look at it, I've never done a Countach wiring harness. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody, is real specialist at it. But I got Earl downstairs. I mean, there's not a wire that guy can't fix. So we'll tear it apart. It's just a wiring harness. It's not going to be just like the one that's in your Toyota. Has a whole bunch of wires and they go somewhere. So we just got to figure it out. Put new wires to go in the same spots, and you should turn the key. It should fire.
That's awesome. Pete.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be. You guys keep posting. I'll keep you posted. That's gonna be within the next few months. I feel. I have a feeling because I made an offer. He said no, and then we talked again a couple times, and he would be interested in me getting it running for him. So let me tell you, the minute I get my hands on it, I'm keeping it, and I'm gonna fix it. I'll fix it for him. Yeah. So.
I love that. That's great.
It'd be cool. This summer is going to look real good, man. I got about 10 cars on my radar that need to join the house. Some really, again, like we have here, eclectic cars. Nobody would say, "Oh my God, what is that? That's a Noble? I never even heard of a Noble before," right? Oh, you've got a Clio? No, I got all the Clios.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This RS 500, not here in the country. You know what I mean? I have that other R5 Fiesta coming in from Ireland. It's a full-on rally car, 4-cylinder, 480 horsepower, all-wheel drive, full cage, hydraulic brake. It's going to be sick. It's a full rally car, but set up for tarmac. And it weighs about 2,100 pounds. Should be the sickest thing ever. I mean, that's the kind of car you get in and spin around circles. Right, and, all 4 wheels, smoking tires, Ken Block style, basically.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Same car. Ken Block was running an RS 200. This is basically the older brother of the RS 200. This is where it ended up at.
Hell yeah.
So looking forward to summer, man. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna get you guys. Cool. We're gonna get you guys in some cars and hear about what you guys think about them. I know what I think about each and every one. Yeah. All the cars had like almost every car that I've gotten has a story about how I got it. And that was the same thing with the bikes, man. I flew over to Ireland one time to pick up this Isle of Man R7 Yamaha, which is a pretty rare bike, but this one had been fitted with an R1 Superbike motor. So it was going to be hard to bring it into the country. So what I did was I took it apart, I shipped the motor over in a box, and I carried the frame on as carry-on luggage.
Shut up.
Yeah. Brought it back home, put it all back together, and boom, I had the only R7 R1 here in the country. Had raced at the Isle of Man, and it was a McGuinness bike, which is one of the guys who raced Isle of Man and done very well there. So I think he's 10-time winner of Isle of Man.
In the carry-on.
Yeah. So everything's got a story, right?
That's
everything's
great.
Got a story. And the people involved in it,
right,
all the time. There's like the people are, the coolest thing. This RS 500 has a people story.
Sure.
I mean, we flew over to we had a buddy in Germany. He found the car for me and told me the story about it. It's a father and son. And they built the car and he built the motor. And he says, when you come over, you'll meet them and they'll tell you about it. We went over to this little shack at his place, in somewhere in Essen, Germany. And we met the guy and he says, we did this, this, and this to it. And they basically did everything possible to that motor. We drove it 6,000 miles around Germany, hit Germany, Italy, every single factory, Lamborghini factory, Ferrari factory, Porsche factory, Mercedes factory, Audi factory, right? And Lamborghini factory too. Wow. And we did it all within a week, me and my son. And just whirlwind run, man. Everything, get up in the morning, rock the day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And go until you pass out and wake up the next morning as quick as you can, get back in the car and drive, 600-700 miles in that one day. And we did the Idlewild Pass. We did some of the craziest passes through Italy, the Italian Alps, back into down by Lake Como, all around Bellagio. And that little car did 293 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn, which is like 184 miles an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah, it rips. So much fun.
Yeah, that's cool though. That goes back to your point of stay on the gas. Like you woke up every day and attacked it.
I mean,
full throttle.
when I met you guys here, I'm here before you are.
Yeah, sure, exactly.
I'm here. My employees are always like, "What are you doing, dude?" I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm ready to go. I get 5-6 hours a night sleep. I mean, you don't need much more. Some days I'm tired. I mean, as I get older, I'm finding I'm getting a little bit more tired quicker, but I'm still on the gas all day long. And I want to see production. I want to see, like, for my people, I want to see production. I want to see them work as hard as I do.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And believe me, when they're finishing something, it's no time for cappuccino. It's time to hop on to the next project because we have more stuff to do. Not just my cars. We have customer cars now, and we got to get prepared for this summer. We have all these big events coming up. Our first big event is on April 6th. It's basically a cars and coffee from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock here at Bocca Motors. We're going to do We have a band. We've got some food trucks, and it's going to be for Connecticut organ donors. So, you know, we do a little charity deal here. You know, charge $10 for the cars that come in. We'll give it to charity. You know, it's good to give back, man. You know what I mean? In case I ever need a liver or a kidney or something. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe the little day I gave here will hook me back up.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to keep you longer, so hey.
No, man, this is cool. I dig talking like this. Just for me.
We could do more of these too. We'll do more of these.
For me to talk with you guys, man, I'm excited about the fact of where you guys in your life. I mean, I remember when I was 25, dude, I had already started my business when I was 22, my insurance business. And I was working till 11 o'clock every night. You know what I mean? I'd go in at, 9, work till 10, 11 o'clock, me and my wife together. And we built a crazy ass business in like 8 years. You know, we took it from 0 to 20 million bucks. And it was because we worked hard. It's because we gave it all. And when I was 30, we had our first child. My wife stayed home, which is, awesome. I was able to do that. And she's been home taking care of my kids and my family and me. And she's a gourmet cook, and she's amazing. And I got to go out and follow all my pursuits. And during that time, I was actually racing motorcycles, which is amazing. She didn't kill me. You know what I mean? But, just really lucky in life. You know what I mean? Lucky, really lucky. Like, died a couple times, came back to life. I mean, I've probably come close to dying like 10 times in my life, which is insane that I can't believe it. And now as I get a little bit older, I got a little more thought process, tiny bit. Like I was like, maybe I won't jump that railroad track today. You know what I mean?
Every year older, a little wiser, right?
Yeah. Maybe I won't click fourth gear in this wheelie. I'll stay at third.
Yeah. That's funny. I love that.
It's funny, like last spring. I mean, I get on these super bikes, and on the racetrack, I was a pretty nasty rider. So I ride on the road, and I ride way too fast. So I've got to back it back. And I just found myself going up on the, by the airport over there, and I was on that. I got a 217 horsepower R1M. I mean, fourth gear is roll on wheelies. I'm going 140, and you just roll the wheelies on. You know what I mean? And I'm going, all right, I better back this shit up.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. But other than that, man,
Yeah.
good. We're going to have a great summer. I'm going to teach you guys some stuff. We're going to go some racetracks. We're going to take you guys jet skiing, stand-up jet skiing, so you won't have VJs at all. All right?
Let's
You're going to learn how to do barrel rolls and flips.
shit.
All right? It's got some cool shit. We have awesome jet skis, dude. Have you seen all the ones we had?
I've seen the videos. I mean, seen some downstairs
dude,
too.
we have a container of 10 stand-up jet skis.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's 10 of them in the back there. And they're all done. We spent most of the winter prepping everything for spring.
Wow.
So the last one, we just put a motor in last week. That white one that's downstairs, the fixed gear one. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
So. All right, well, thanks, Pete.
All right,
Appreciate
boys.
it. Of
Cool.
course, as
Looking
always.
forward.
Yeah. Kaboom! Nice.